Hello, everyone. Good afternoon, good morning, good evening, depending on where you are in the world. Salam alaikum to my friends in Pakistan. It's a big pleasure. My name is Marcelo Duarte. I'm the Director of International Relations at ABRAPA, the Brazilian Cotton Growers Association. It's a big pleasure to be here today in the Cotton Brazil Harvest 2021 Pakistan, in a very important market for Brazil, and also a very important country for the cotton world, because Pakistan is also a very large and important producer and importer and user of cotton, and we have a very we know it's very important to be here to talk to our friends. Before the webinar begins, I would like to give a quick guidance on how we can make the most of our meeting. In terms of language, we have a button on the bottom part of your Zoom screen on your right. It's saying interpretation. Please choose the language of your preference. We have English and Portuguese. You can pick either. So even though you understand me now speaking English, make sure you choose English, because we're going to have some parts where Portuguese will be spoken. So please choose English if that is your language. Also, continue on our housekeeping part of the meeting. At the end of the webinar, we will have a roundtable discussion. Please send your questions through the Q&A button, which is also in the bottom of your Zoom screen. So this is the way we're going to take questions. If we don't have time at the end of the session to answer all the questions, we will make sure your question gets answered and be sent to you via email. This event has been put together by ABRAPA, ANEA, the Brazilian Cotton Shippers Association, and Apex Brazil, the Brazilian Trade and Investment Promotion Agency, along with the Embassy of Brazil in Pakistan and APTMA, the All Pakistan Textile Mill Association. As the initiative can only be successful with the support of these organizations, we would like to thank all our partners, especially our local partners. Tonight's host speakers are Júlio Busato, President of ABRAPA, and Miguel Faus, President of ANEA. I would also like to welcome our guests who will be part of the roundtable. Dr. Javed Hassan, Cotton Advisor at APTMA, and Mr. Adil Tata, COO at Tata Pakistan. Thank you both for being here representing Pakistan in our roundtable.
Thank you for the invite.
Thank you. It's a big pleasure to have you here, and looking forward to our discussion at the end of the session. Cotton Brazil also receives important support from the Brazilian government through the Embassy of Brazil in Pakistan. Therefore, I would like to welcome Councilor Adriana Pereira, who is here representing Ambassador Olinto Vieira, and who will he will now address the audience for her welcome speech. Please, Councilor Adriana, the floor is yours.
Obrigada, Marcelo.
Thank you, Marcelo. I would like to greet Mr. Júlio Busato, Mr. Miguel Faus, Marcelo, Dr. Javed Hassan, Mr. Adil, and all other participants who are following us today. Unfortunately, Ambassador Olinto couldn't be here. He wanted to be here for the opening comments because he considers this event to be very important, but due to a last-minute commitment, he wasn't able to be here. So to me, it's quite an honor to participate in this event that is so important for Brazil and for Pakistan. These two countries that are so far geographically and culturally have gotten closer and closer together. Most of that contact has been done through cotton, which is a very important commodity for both Brazil and Pakistan. Increased cotton exports from Brazil to Pakistan 9 times in the last 10 years shows that despite that distance, if there is interest, if there is willingness or both sides, obstacles can be removed and ties can be strengthened. Cotton is just one of the areas where trade is successful, and this partnership between Brazil and Pakistan. Inshallah, that strengthened partnership between the two countries in the future will be even stronger. I would like to once again thank the organizers and your interest and wish you all a very fruitful event celebrating the friendship between the two countries and the beginning of more prosperity for both countries. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Councilor Adriana. Thank you very much. Your endorsement and the endorsement of our embassy in Islamabad is really important to the success of this initiative. And I'm a witness of how much you are involved in helping the relationship between our countries grow more year after year. Thank you very much. Now, covering 99% of Brazil's cotton exports, cotton production, and 100% of the country total exports. Abrapa, the Brazilian Cotton Growers Association, is a leading national commodity organization in Brazil, representing Brazilian growers domestically and internationally. I would like now to call Mr. Júlio Busato, President of Abrapa, for his welcome remarks.
Obrigado, Marcelo.
Thank you, Marcelo. Good afternoon, everyone who are in Pakistan. First of all, I would like to say thank you to Councilor Adriana, head of the commercial information sector at the Brazilian Embassy in Istanbul. Adriana, we know how important or the importance that Ambassador Olinto has given to this project called Cotton Brazil. It's a pity he's unable to be here today, but most certainly he is very well represented by you. And I also want to thank the whole embassy in Istanbul, all the work you have done to help us and to bring us closer together to the industry in Pakistan. I want to thank Apex Brazil, our partner in this project. And on behalf of President Miguel Faus, I want to thank ANIA, the Brazilian Cotton Shippers Association, and the local partner association, APTMA, represented by Dr. Javed Hassan, and Dr. Adil Anwar, who visited us and that can help us on how to improve even further our relationship. Pakistan is a very important country for Brazilian cotton. This season, 2021, Pakistan was the third largest importer, importing 12% of all the cotton that we produce and export in Brazil. From August 2020 to May 2021, Pakistan has already imported 270,000 tons of Brazilian cotton. Just to give you an idea, in the 2010-2011 season, 1 decade ago, Pakistan bought only 25,000 tons. So this is a significant growth, which shows that we are on the right track. The market share of Brazilian cotton in the imports of Pakistan in the 1920 season achieved 25%. That is, of all the cotton that Pakistan imports, 1/4 comes from Brazil. And that market share grew 20 percentage points between 2018 and 2020. And all of us, cotton growers in Brazil, want to grow even further. I also want to thank you for joining us today. We know that we have a very busy schedule, and thank you very much for joining us during this meeting. I hope this meeting will be very fruitful. Marcelo, back to you.
Thank you, Mr. President. Now it's time to start the presentations of the webinar. This is the agenda for today's webinar. So first, we're going to talk about current season, the season numbers. The current season is a season that will end in July 2021, which means next month. So it's the current season that's going to be the last season pretty soon. Then we talk about quality control in Brazil and the numbers of quality that we have so far. Finally, we talk about next season forecasts. Next season starts in August 2021. Sorry. Then we talk about, then we're going to have a virtual crop tour, and finally our round table. Regarding current season, this is our dashboard for the current season. Of course, we have 100% of the harvest because it was harvested last year from June to September. 100% gene, 100% HVI tested. So that's a very important point. So every bale in Brazil is tested for HVI. 97% sold by farmer and 94% exported. So pretty much the season that we're going to finish next month is all gone by now. Next, please. In this slides, we see where cotton production is located in Brazil. Also, you can see the graph, in the graph, Brazil's last season's number. We reached 3 million tons of total lint production, the highest number ever for the country. On the map, you can also see the location of the main ports, with Santos Port being the most important by far, with 97% of cotton exports going through this port. In 2021, exports will be finished in July, and the numbers are looking like they're going to finish at around 2.35 million tons. That's also a record for Brazil. In the current season, Brazil should account for about 23% of the share of the global cotton trade. Our main markets are first, China, second, Vietnam, third, Bangladesh, fourth, Turkey, and fifth, Pakistan, with 11% of market share. We talk about quantity, but it's also important to emphasize that we have a strong focus on quality as well. Brazil has put in place the SBR HVI program, a national cotton quality control program. This program has been established in 2007, and this year analyzed 100% of the 14.2 million bales produced in the country. At this HVI analysis, and this as HVI analysis, have the impressive level of 96% of results reliability. In 11 classing labs that are overseen by one central lab located in Brasilia, the CBRA, which makes sure the results of the 11 classing labs are reliable and trustworthy. Now, you're gonna know a little bit how a classing lab in Brazil looks like. We're gonna have a message from two of our classing labs that are waiting for the new crop to start to be harvested.
Aqui, neste laboratório, nós somos certificados pelo SBR-HVI e constantemente monitorados pelo CBRA. As atividades vão iniciar em meados de junho, com previsão de término para fevereiro. Nossa equipe está preparada, aguardando esse momento para darmos início ao próximo ciclo. A previsão será de analisarmos 3 milhões de amostras. Este volume representa 100% do algodão baiano, que representa 20% do algodão brasileiro.
O laboratório Cooperfibra, ele é certificado através do SBR-HVI, né, do programa do CBRA. 100% dos fardos, né, produzidos nas algodoeiras e que passa pelo laboratório Cooperfibra são analisados, são monitorados, auditados, é emitido um laudo, né, garantindo todos esses processos.
Talk about quality results. As you can see, the classing labs are still waiting for the first samples to arrive, but we have the final results for the current crop, the crop that was harvested last year. So now we want to talk about these results. For length, 98% of our crop was above 1.08 or 1.330 seconds, or staple 35, 98%. If you change the length size and look at 1.18 inches, our numbers have also been increasing a lot. In this case, even very, very steeply. Last crop, 88% of all bales analyzed fit within this these characteristics above 1.18 inches. An impressive increase at the last the last five seasons, coming from 60 to 88%. Regarding micronair, 99% of our crop was within the range of 3.5 to 4.9. In terms of strength, 98% above 27 GTEX. And short fiber, that's also a point that we've been working hard in Brazil, has been increasing year after year. Now, reaching 80% of short fiber index below 10%, another impressive increase in the quality standards, which is below 10% in the last 5 seasons. If you want to see the total detailed results, please access the website downloads.cottonbrazil.com/quality report. As you can see, not only the reliability of the HPI results are good, but also the overall quality of Brazilian cotton has been improving consistently over the years as well. Now, we are going to talk about the 2021 season. First, I want you to take a look at our cotton calendar, because it's very important that you understand when production is done in the Southern Hemisphere, specifically in Brazil. As you can see in the calendar in your slide, we are finishing the exports of the old crop. The old crop is the crop that was harvested exactly 1 year ago. And now we're starting the 2021 harvest in June. Exactly now, this month is the month the harvest starts. This is the 2021 crop that will go into the market in 21-22 for the 21-22 marketing year. Now, let's see a video made by our president, Julio Busato, talking about the 2021 harvest, which has just started this month.
Meu nome é Júlio César Busato, eu sou engenheiro agrônomo, agricultor, plantador de algodão e presidente da Associação Brasileira dos Produtores de Algodão, a Abrapa. Nós estamos aqui no estado de São Paulo dando a largada, é o início da nossa colheita. E a colheita deve se encerrar até final de setembro. O plantio dessa safra foi um pouco difícil, principalmente nos estados da Bahia e do Mato Grosso, mas felizmente os agricultores possuem uma capacidade muito grande de plantio, uma organização e conseguiram efetuar o plantio e estabelecer as suas lavouras. Nós reduzimos a área plantada no Brasil em 17% em relação ao ano passado. Na tomada de decisões do produtor se ele ia plantar algodão, milho ou soja, a rentabilidade da lavoura de algodão estava muito comprometida, né? Nós estávamos, na época, plantando algodão com prejuízo, porque os preços estavam abaixo do custo de produção. E a área até podia ser menor ainda. Mas por que não foi? Porque os produtores têm a consciência que nós precisamos manter os mercados que nós conquistamos, nós precisamos manter as nossas equipes que foram treinadas e preparadas para produzir algodão e os investimentos que foram feitos na lavoura de algodão.
President Julio grows cotton in Bahia State, but shot this video in São Paulo State, where harvest has already started. Bahia, it will take a few more days to start. Now, let's take a look at other states and other growers. Let's make another trip to Brazil. This time of the year, Abrapa normally hosts many clients from all over the world to visit our farms, gins, and labs. Adil Tata, who is here with us, was one of these clients that had an opportunity to be a few years ago in one of these tours. Since this year, this is not possible, we are going to present to you now Abrapa's Virtual Farm Tour 2021, an opportunity for you to visit our farmers around the country and hear what our farmers are thinking about this crop and the next crop.
Esse ano a gente teve uma redução de área de algodão devido aos atrasos de chuva na época de plantio. Com o atraso de plantio, Então a gente vai ter uma colheita um pouco mais tarde em relação aos outros anos. A lavoura até agora ela tem mostrado de boa qualidade, muito bem conduzida, sem pragas e com certeza a gente vai ter um algodão de qualidade e com uma produção excelente esse ano. Para a próxima safra, com certeza o algodão vai ter aumento de área. Eu acho que volta os planejamentos que a gente tinha em 2019, 2020, onde que o algodão teve uma área um pouco maior que esse ano. Com certeza a chuva vai vir mais cedo, se Deus quiser, e a gente vai ter uma área um pouco maior que esse ano.
Na nossa região, a maioria das lavouras de algodão sucede à lavoura de soja. E tivemos um diferencial este ano de ter o atraso do plantio da soja devido ao início das chuvas também atrasarem. Em consequência, nossa janela de plantio ficou entre o final do mês de janeiro e início de fevereiro. Nós investimos em compensação muito em fertilidade, em materiais genéticos mais modernos, mais precoces, para poder compensar esse atraso aí no plantio. Esperamos ter um bom resultado, assim como foi no ano passado. Nós mantivemos a mesma área de plantio, em torno de 2.000 hectares, e vamos ter sucesso nesta colheita da mesma forma que nós viemos tendo nos últimos anos.
O início do plantio em Mato Grosso do Sul, ele acontece no mês de dezembro. E a colheita acontece nos meses de junho, julho e agosto. E a qualidade dessa safra, nós estamos apostando que vai ser muito boa, tanto o tipo como o HVI, que nós vamos colher essa lavoura aqui totalmente sem chuva, né? Isso ajuda muito no tipo do algodão. Mato Grosso do Sul, como o algodão é só de verão, realmente esse ano, no mês de abril, tivemos um clima atípico. Houve falta de chuva. Hoje, usando muita tecnologia em variedades, a gente consegue manter um bom tipo, uma boa qualidade.
As lavouras de algodão estão em perfeitas condições, tiveram um desenvolvimento normal e vai ter uma excelente produção e qualidade de pluma. A cotonicultura brasileira ela trabalha para ter fibras cada vez melhores. Trabalha em genética, trabalha em manejo, trabalha num contexto para ter uma qualidade excelente para atender grandes mercados. Qualquer mercado internacional hoje pode vir aqui no Brasil que vai comprar coisa boa.
Na parte de qualidade, a gente acredita que este ano a gente possa ter um algodão até um pouco superior ao ano passado. A gente escolhe as variedades de acordo com o resultado da safra anterior. Conversamos com outros produtores que plantam também, analisamos as produtividades em conjunto, olhamos as qualidades intrínsecas nas algodoeiras também, e aí acabam sendo escolhida a variedade que atende em qualidade e também em produtividade para o produtor. Segundo os laboratórios que a gente tem consultado, a gente tem conseguido uma boa qualidade intrínseca da pluma produzida no nosso estado. A gente acredita que a gente pode atender às exigências tanto do mercado nacional como do mercado externo.
E as perspectivas são muito boas. Tivemos sim um bom posicionamento de lavoura desde o início, graças à escolha das melhores cultivares, de acordo com a nossa região, de acordo com o nosso solo. A expectativa de produtividade é muito boa. É claro, tivemos sim que driblar o bicudo, esperávamos alguns milímetros a mais de chuva nesse final de ciclo e o planejamento para a safra 21 e 22 já acontece. E nós esperamos retomar a nossa área média, que é de 2.500 hectares de algodão plantado. Fazemos parte de um grupo de agricultores que caminha rumo à sustentabilidade, porque produzimos com excelência. E é isso que nós queremos, nos tornar o maior exportador de algodão do mundo.
É muito importante passar para você que está comprando algodão aí do outro lado do mundo, que nós aqui no Brasil estamos plantando algodão para um futuro melhor.
Aqui no Brasil, nós crescemos por um futuro melhor.
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 I have seen this video a few times, and every time I see it, I never get tired of seeing it. It's really beautiful images. I miss my country a lot, and cotton fields are really amazing, especially when they are well taken care of. Well, now we're going to take a look at next season forecasts. As you can see, farmers talked about climate, talked about some situations, and now I'm going to share with you the numbers that we're expecting from acreage numbers and also production numbers that we're expecting for next season, as you can see in this graph. So considering the adverse climate, especially reduced rainfall during the planting season for soybeans, planting season for cotton, because soybeans are planted in many states before cotton. So soybeans planting was delayed, and therefore cotton was not possible to be planting cotton after soybeans in many situations. So the final numbers we're expecting to see in Brazil for cotton production are going to be around 2.36 million tons, a 21% reduction according to Abrapa. If you look at CONAB number, which is the other estimate, it's a similar number. We are talking about 2.44 million tons, a 19% reduction. So the government and Abrapa have very similar numbers showing the reduction for this season that we're going to harvest right now as we talked. In terms of exports from Brazil, we will see a slight reduction in 21-22, of course, because of the reduction in production. In the next season, Brazil's share of the international market will be around 20%. But as you can see in the graph, the projections of the Ministry of Agriculture show that our exports can grow up more than 100% within the next decade, showing a huge potential for the country to continue growing its production and exports. As long as the perspectives are positive, let's talk about the future. Our President Julio will now show you the long-term trends and views of the Brazilian Cotton Growers Association in the next video.
As lavouras estão muito boas. Eu acho que nós devemos manter a mesma produtividade que nós tivemos no ano passado. A nossa expectativa é que nós voltemos à área que nós plantamos o ano passado ou que fiquemos muito próximo disso. Vai depender muito de como vai se comportar o mercado e os preços do milho, da soja e do algodão nos próximos meses. Para um longo prazo, nós acreditamos que o algodão brasileiro tem um enorme potencial para crescer. Nós vamos precisar de duas coisas. Primeiro, mercado que compre esse algodão. Segundo, rentabilidade da lavoura do algodão. E essa rentabilidade ela vem da produtividade, dos custos de produção e do preço que o algodão estiver no mercado. Mas com certeza o Brasil deverá, nos próximos anos, crescer muito a produção de algodão. Nós conseguimos, nos últimos 4 anos, dobrarmos a produção do algodão brasileiro e pretendemos fazer isso num espaço um pouco maior de tempo.
Thank you. And if you want to know more about Cotton Brazil, please take a look at our website and you see. So now let's go for the final remarks. that I wanted to point out, that because it really make the points from our meeting before we start our Q&A and panel discussion. The first point is that, as you saw in the videos, as we talked, as the numbers showed as well, Brazil is a long-term player in the international cotton trade. So we're here to stay. We have research, technology, and we have the will and the potential to continue growing and supplying increasing volumes of cotton to our international clients and the domestic industry in Brazil as well. Secondly, the 2021 harvest will be smaller than the previous season's crop, as you saw, but it is the third largest crop in Brazil's history. Third, the medium to long-term trend is to continue growing production and exports in Brazil. That's a very clear trend, as you could see as well. Another point that I wanted to emphasize is regarding to sustainability. 80% of Brazil's crop for the 2021 harvest will be certified by Brazilian Responsible Cotton Program, ABR, which makes farmer eligible for BCI credits, which are in high demand worldwide, and show how responsible our production is. Also, our focus on quality with robust quality control program, the SPR HPI, will continue increasing more and more. We also set up an office in Singapore, where I am right now, showing us Abrapa's commitment to be closer and to our clients at this part of the world. And finally, we look to strengthen our partnerships and thank Optima, for being here today with us, to participating in this roundtable, and also inviting their members to join in such an important meeting. Now it's time to start our roundtable discussion. This is a very important part of this meeting, where we hear the perspectives of our friends in Pakistan, and of course, we also discuss more in depth some of the topics that are important for both countries. And now I would like also to welcome Saad Umar, a Senior Executive Officer of Optima, who has been a great partner. I was talking about partnership, Saad, and I was thinking about you and your team, and how pleasant it's been working so closely with Optima, and we are so much looking forward to meet you personally and visit Pakistan as well. So thank you for joining the roundtable.
Thank you, Marcelo, and thank you very much for inviting us again on this exceptionally good webinar series. I'm very thankful to you, Julio, and Miss Adriana as well. So this is the second time we are participating, and we are really honored to have this partnership between Brazil and Pakistan. And there's so much we can learn from you to enhance our cotton productivity in Pakistan. And thank you very much. I'm really honored. Thank you.
Thank you, Saad. So now I would like to open the roundtable, asking this is really a very open type of discussion. So I would like to leave it very open so that we can hear the perspectives of everyone. But asking you, Mr. Adi, because you were in Brazil a few years ago, as I mentioned during my presentation, in one of the Abrapa tours for our clients internationally. You were there, and you had opportunity to see from yourself, our farms, our production system. And would you please share with us some of your perceptions and what it changed, and how, looking at these videos, how that recalled you from the places you've been?
Hi, everybody. Thank you for inviting me. Basically, I had the opportunity to visit Brazil in 2017, one of the Abrapa tours. And before that, I had been on many tours to the US, and was really in awe of how the farmers over there took care of their crop and the yields and the quality and everything. And my perception about Brazil was, yes, okay, they grow cotton, but they can't really match, the farmers there can't really match what's being done in the US. It's a perception. But it was an eye-opening tour. I mean, I was in awe. The kind of practices that these guys have, all you guys, the farmers in Brazil, how much care and effort goes into producing the crop. The fields were absolutely beautiful when you saw them. We went at harvest time. It was like a sea of white all across. The quality, the standards, and I was really happy to see that you guys have also started looking into the system. When I visited, it was in the initial stages, but copying the USDA style classing data. And I was really hopeful that Brazilians will be able to roll that out. But unfortunately, I think still it's not available to the mills, at least in Pakistan. I don't know elsewhere. But a wonderful country, wonderful people, and I think the best farmers in the world, hands down. I mean, with the challenges you guys have, even in terms of land conservation, I was very impressed that farms that I went to had a mandate that 20% or 30% or 50%, depending on which state I went to, was still supposed to be rainforest. So you're really taking care of the environment by not touching the entire land and keeping the rainforest intact while cultivating great crops, soya bean, cotton. So it was an amazing experience for me.
Thank you.
So ever since I've come back, personally, as a whatever I can do, we've been increasing our share of Brazilian cotton slowly. There were a few things that I wanted to come up with. I have a program which runs US Memphis cotton. And then we've been doing that program for the last 15, 20 years. And I've tried once or twice to move to Brazilian. But whenever I've done so, I've faced a few issues. Because that's a very quality conscious program of mine. So if I can get the USDA style HVI data coming from Brazil, I'll be able to better manage and increase my share of Brazilian cotton. Because spinnability wise, it is excellent. I've had a few issues in terms of dye uptake, but I think that can be managed with better mic results. So one thing that I noticed while I was there is the grows over there are targeting like mic range 3.8 to 4.2. Whereas nowadays in spinning mills, generally, we would prefer, at least in Pakistan, we would prefer to have a mic range of 4.4 to 4.8. I think in our experience, we're able to make better quality yarn. And one of the reasons that we go to the US is because we can narrow down the mic ranges as well. And we're sure about what we're going to get.
Thank you, Adil. I mean, following on with your comments, I would like to pass to our president Julio. So, because Julio has been working a lot in his term as in a national program to give more transparency to this HVI information, and he will share his views with you. Please, President Julio.
Well, first and foremost, I want to thank you, Adil, for your words. And really, it was such a pleasure to have you with us a few years ago. And I hope that in the near future, you can bring more people to get to know who we are, what we think, and what we do. As cotton growers, I think this is a very important contact, and this makes our deals increasingly solid and reliable. I want to apologize to Councillor Adriana. She is in Islamabad. I thought she was somewhere else. I do apologize. And in the near future, I do intend to visit you in Islamabad. As for the quality of cotton, we have been working a lot on that. If we were to analyze the figures, we will see that Brazil has become a major cotton exporter 4 years ago only. Up until then, well, Brazil was a spot market, a market of opportunity, but that's no longer the case. We are the second largest world exporter of cotton, the fourth largest cotton producer in the world, and we want to grow even further. All of us, Brazilian cotton growers, also doubled cotton production in the past 4 years. And we can do that again in the future. What we need is profitability and a market. And that's why we are doing this work with you, because we want to have not only a business relationship, but a relationship of trust, a relationship of credibility. Now, quality-wise, there are different types of cotton that we can plant. We do have excellent cotton. Sometimes we have good cotton, and sometimes we have cotton that is not so good. Why? It depends on what happened to the climate during the crop season, if it rained or not during harvest. So, and that may affect, pest control is also very important. But what's truly important? What's important is for us to be transparent in showing exactly the data of each bale, even on the same farm. And that's where our SBR HVR program comes into play. This is the third year of our program since it was first implemented, and we are making progress continuously. This year, you will be able to access our data. We do have a traceability system, and we know where each bale was produced, who grew that cotton, and what gin it was ginned. We have a system called SAE that has been around for 17 years, and the SBR HVR program oversees the 12 classing labs in Brazil. Just to give you an idea, when we began 3 years ago, the average conformity among the 12 labs and the central lab in Brasilia was 92%. And today, 3 years after, it's 96%. And with some labs, we have 99% conformity. That's what we want. We want to bring that number up to 98, 99%. Why? Because we do analyze bale by bale. And it's important that the figures you receive before you buy the cotton, or even after you buy the cotton, reflects exactly what you receive. A deal. You were talking about the green card system that our fellow Americans have, right? We are working in that regard as well. It's not going to be for this year, but for the future, because this doesn't depend just on us, cotton growers. It also depends on an interaction with the government. And as for the micronair that you prefer, between 4.4 and 4.8, based on the figures that Marcelo showed you, within our production, we can provide the volume you need within that micronair range. We just need to show you the data better than we have been doing so far. And that's what we are working on. And we also want to improve the quality of Brazilian cotton, not only for some growers, but for all growers. We want to level the average level of Brazilian cotton. So that's the mission that Abrapa has for the next few years.
Thank you, Mr. President. Now I'd like to move to Dr. Javed Hassan. We talked on the phone before, and I was quite impressed by your challenge you have you're a breeder and you want to increase cotton production in Pakistan. I think we are all on the cotton side. We want cotton to be a more and more important crop worldwide. In that sense, how do you see possible partnerships between Brazil and Pakistan in that area, Dr. Javed?
Hello, everybody. First of all, I would like to thank you, Brazil Cotton and Abarava, for their conducting such an informative webinar session. And I also want to congratulate all the stakeholders of the Brazilian cotton for make it double the cotton production in Brazil within only 4 years. You know well, the cotton production in Pakistan from last 10 years is decreasing. It's about right now 62% production forecast is there from the last 10 years. Many reasons are there that how you know well that our weather and the environmental changes are very much fast, and the temperature is increasing while we could not have such a research and development program to grow good varieties in this stress environment. So there are many opportunities are there to collaborate for better cotton in Pakistan, like the advanced technology which the Brazil are using. We may go for such research and development collaboration so that we can develop good varieties which can have a wider range of genetic basis, because the genetic basis of the Pakistani varieties are very narrow. That's why these varieties could not grow in the stress environment. So one of the good collaboration can be in future for the quality cotton in Pakistan through advanced varieties. Another aspect for the improvement of the Brazilian cotton is that with the textile sector in Pakistan needs more strength, fiber strength, because right now there is only 25 to 26 gram per text fiber strength is there in the Brazilian cotton, which is imported from Brazil. And one other aspect from our textile industry is that, and the Brazilian cotton, when go for the bleach, its color, its brightness is not as good as American cotton. So these aspects can increase more collaborations and more import to Pakistan if we will go for improvement of the quality in parameters like staple length is always very good from the Brazilian cotton, and Pakistan textile sector always very welcome and always very happy with the quality in shape of the staple length, while in the fiber strength and there is need of the improvement. So these are some points through which we can increase the market share of the Brazilian cotton in Pakistan.
Thank you, Dr. Javed. Thank you very much. I would like, following on your comments, I would like to pass you on to Miguel Faust. Miguel is an expert and he could address certainly these points that were raised regarding strength and color. Miguel, could you please?
Yes, please. Thank you very much. Good morning, good evening to everyone. Yes, I think there is room for improvement on Brazilian cotton quality. Just want to point out that we said 10 years ago, Brazil exported only some 20,000 tons to Pakistan, but 3 years ago, Brazil exported only 30,000 tons to Pakistan. So this is a really new market. In 2019, Brazil exported 200,000 tons, and last season 256, 270,000 tons. So this is a new market for Brazil, and these issues can come up, especially regarding quality. But it is important that the mills, specific mills, report back all the quality issues that you're doing right now, so we can go back to the producers. Abrapa can take note of your demands and improve the quality for the future. So what is certain is that the Brazilian producer is concerned with the quality and wishes to produce a quality cotton that is acceptable for the market. So thanks for the remarks. This is a continuing situation, and I'm sure that any issues that appeared regarding quality will be solved in the future.
It's really, thank you, Miguel. It's really impressive how the numbers have grown so rapidly in such a short time. So at the same time that Pakistan, as we was mentioned, reduced its own production, and Brazil grew and became an important partner, and therefore, I mean, I think meetings like these we'll have to have them more often. So that, in this sense, I would like to call you Saad, and thank you again for Optima to be such an important partner, and hear from you and how Optima, Abrapa, and ENEA, how we could, we could work towards a better environment of trade, a better environment of business between our countries. And I would like to see your comments on Brazil and Pakistan in terms of cotton, please.
Yeah, sure. Thank you. Thank you again, Marcelo. Firstly, taking on the comments from Miguel, the rapid increase was because, as Dr. Javed said, there has been a declining state of cotton in Pakistan for the past couple of years. It has had hit historic low in Pakistan because of numerous reasons. Seed technology, pest control, and all that. And there have been the quality of our crop has been declining. So first of all, we need to do something about improving that declining state of cotton in Pakistan. In that aspect, we can actually have research centers established in Pakistan in collaboration with Brazil associations, so that we can have the exchange of information and technology to come up with something that can actually enhance the seed we are using in Pakistan, and that can eventually lead to a better production of cotton. That will eventually help us in addressing the raw material requirement in Pakistan. And secondly, we can have, because of the restriction of COVID and all that, the traveling has been handicapped. So that there has been any tours and the in and out of teams to different countries. So what we can do is, that the COVID situation is stabilizing, what we can do is we can invite teams from Brazil to have a seminar or a webinar, a training session for the industry, so that they can actually guide and help them with the best practices in the industry, so that we can educate the entire textile value chain, starting from the farmer and to the industry, to top of the industry, so that they can actually know from the world and the best practices of the world, where are we going wrong, in what stage we can improve on, and how do we enhance our products to be internationally competitive. So that can be done. And again, research centers can have a session of, our team can visit Brazil and have, visit your farms, have a discussion with your farmers, have a discussion with your experts and all that, so that can actually get the information from Brazil and, deploy that information in Pakistan, so that we can, correct our wrongs in the industry and can have a better output. So I think these are some of the very basic and fundamental initiatives that can be, taken to enhance our productivity and quality. And lastly, I would say that I think there's a gap in technology enhancement in Pakistan, so that we can, opt in the very, state-of-the-art technology that can be, utilized and established in Pakistan, so that we can, create products that are internationally acceptable and that are competitive in the world. We are doing that. We are doing that. So we have the very, significant share in the international industry and all that. But I think we can go far from that as well. So to address those issues and to address that niche in the market and to, cover the gaps, I think these fundamental issues can be resolved with the help of, Brazil and the association and the industry in Brazil. And I think we can go a long way. And hopefully this partnership and this friendship will go a long way and will help each other out. So to have a mutually beneficial relationship in the future as well. So yeah, that's from me. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you, Saad. Thank you very much. And now I'm following with this initiative. Now I would like to, of course, it's very important to Pakistan to increase its own production, but I've seen some numbers from Optima, and then how much you want to increase your own consumption as well. So, I mean, we at the same time that we're talking about increased own production, we are talking about increased consumption, and that will mean trade will be just as important and maybe even more important in the future. So, Adil, I would like to. I mean, you are. You've been buying cotton from all over the world and Brazil and US. And I would like to hear your comments. I mean, how you see the industry in Pakistan increasing production in the future, and how import and local cotton will play a role. I mean, how do you see import cotton and local cotton in that sense?
Oh, wait a minute. Yeah. Okay. Basically, what's happened over the years is that, we've not invested in our seed technology. And there was an energy issue in Pakistan. First, we had no energy, then we had more very expensive energy. So the current government has corrected all these things and is very supportive towards exports. And the main focus is towards value-added finished products going from Pakistan to, the world over. During this COVID, a lot of countries were hit very hard, Pakistan as well. But our government played a very proactive role in terms of managing it. And we had issues, but our factories were open. We were able to take, a larger share. Orders moved in from China to Pakistan because of various reasons. So, we've been running full capacity since July of last year. So we've not shut down. So, and, it's been good, profitable year for a lot of the textile sector. And everybody's been increasing. There've been extensive government incentives like TURF and LTFF, which have supported. So we're going to see a major, I think maybe in 15 years, I've not seen this type of enthusiasm among the textile, friends and colleagues. There's a huge investment coming, maybe $4 to $5 billion worth of machinery is being imported into Pakistan. So we will definitely increase our cotton usage. And I hope that, we can purchase more from Brazil going forward. I think Javed Saab is very optimistic regarding Pakistan's crop situation. I don't see a very quick recovery in Pakistan, because the world has moved towards, new technologies. And unless we take drastic measures now, I don't think Pakistan's production is going to come back to, the peak of 14 million 170 kg bales. When I saw Brazil, when I went to Brazil and I saw the farms, I mean, you guys are planting cotton, like I saw a farm which was planting cotton, maybe 2,000, 10,000 hectares, 20,000 hectares. And, there was nothing else right next to it. It was just a field of cotton. In Pakistan, because of smaller farm sizes, cotton picking is going to become uneconomical. Quality has become an issue. So, in my personal opinion, we will be importing a lot more cotton and hopefully a lot more from Brazil. A couple of things, like I mentioned earlier, also some more information coming from Brazil. I mean, USA or CCI does a much better job in terms of marketing and sharing of information. That's something that we touched upon during our earlier conversation as well. So, getting a newsletter regarding quality, regarding production, just, having it in my email, like a newsletter every 14 days, will just keep Brazilian cotton in mind at all times. And secondly, I just wanted to mention to Adriana, is it was very difficult getting a Brazilian visa from Pakistan. I had to fly to Islamabad for a couple of days. And even then, my visa was like pushed by a BRAPA in Brazil. That's the reason I got it. So, a little bit better or easier to get visa, will it really help us go there and meet our friends over there and have a better and mutual cooperation going forward.
Thank you, Mr. Adil. I mean, now we have, before I move on to you, Mr. President, to talk, I mean, I think it's really positive. It's amazing. I mean, every time we talk, and it's this enthusiasm, this really, I mean, this positive thinking of the industry is really contagious. I mean, thank you very much for the way you shared your views from the industry. Conselheira Adriana, would you like to make any comment regarding Mr. Adil's suggestion?
Yes, thank you very much, Mr. Adil Tata. We will try to improve as much as possible. We do have a lot of regulations that we have to abide to regarding visa concession, but we'll try to make everyone's life easier so that we can have even more cooperation between our two countries. Thank you for your comment, and then we'll take it into consideration.
Thank you, Councillor. I'm totally sure that that this is going to happen, because they are so much committed on this trade. So, President Julio, would you like to make any comment on this increase that we're talking about in trade between our countries, this collaboration that we're talking about?
Sim, Marcelo.
Yes, Marcelo. Well, there are a few things that we must do based on what Adil said. When I say that we can grow a lot our production in Brazil, and we did it in the past 4 years, is because today 65% of cotton planted in Brazil is the second crop. What is a second crop cotton? Farmers plant soybeans, then they harvest the soybeans, and immediately after harvesting the beans, they plant cotton or corn as a second crop, and then they will harvest the corn, the cotton. So this is a way of using our soil twice and sustainably. So 2 crops in the same area, in the same season, under no irrigation, and that's very important. Brazil grows 38 million hectares of soybeans, 38 million hectares. And last year we grew 1.4, 1.5 million hectares of cotton only. So if we have more profitability for cotton compared to soybeans and corn especially, and if we have a market for cotton, and that's why Asia and Pakistan specifically are very important, we can increase our cotton production quite quickly. And this is what we want. We compete with heavily subsidized growers like in the US. In the US, the government gives heavy subsidies, and even in China and India, and we are not. We don't get subsidies, but what are the two main pillars for cotton production in Brazil? First, yields. We today can harvest twice the volume of lint per hectare than our US counterparts. And production scale, as Adil said when he came to Brazil, we have very large farms, and we have a more industrial process, both for planting, management, and harvest. And perhaps that's why I believe we will be able to meet any market demand that we have for cotton in Pakistan. There was another question that was asked, and I would like Miguel to answer that. And if our participants have any questions, we still have time. We are here to take your questions in order to hear your comments and also to receive suggestions that you might have. So this is the time. Miguel, there was a question on stickiness.
Yes, Mr. Busato. There's a question that apparently there have been some cases of stickiness. The question was made by Mr. Akil Hamed, which I thank you for the question. And what I can say about stickiness, the same thing that I said about when you have color tool or any problem with the quality of the cotton when it arrives at destination. Please report it back so your supplier can trace back through the Abrapa system to the farmer, to the gene, and talk to the farmer and solve whatever issue comes up. We had a very few cases of stickinesses. As you know, this can only be you can only detect the stickiness when you do the take-up of the cotton. And when this happens, this cotton is rejected. There are very few cases in Brazil. And when they happen, as I said, the farmer is aware that it happened and he solves the problem. We had some cases in the past where this has been done and then stickiness was not an issue anymore. So that would be my recommendation. I would also like to ask Mr. Adil for the remarks he made about the preservation on the environment that the Brazilian farmers are taking, which is very important that you realize, and that's a big effort that the farmers take in Brazil to preserve the nature, to preserve the forest, but sometimes this is not something that is not recognized all over the world. So the fact that you saw that and you could realize by yourself the efforts that are made, not only in the environmental, but in the other issues like labor and so on, that the Brazilian farmers are very concerned and take care of is very important for Brazil. So whenever you buy cotton from Brazil, you know that there is a cotton that respected all rules, all legislation regarding labor, environment, and so on. So thank you very much for your remark.
Thank you, Miguel. So since he addressed you, Mr. Adil, I would like to ask you a question that's it's really regarding the moment we are living right now. So we are in a position that I think the whole world is getting vaccines, but even before we are all vaccinated, even before all the frontiers are open, we are seeing a very strong demand for cotton, textile products, and farmers in Brazil are just about to decide how much they're going to plant next season. So it's really, as President Julio said, it's really going to be in economics. You know, food prices are high, cotton prices are high, but were higher before. So how do you see, as I mean, the the demand from Europe, demand from the US, demand from your main markets? I mean, is it picking up, and how, in what scenario are you expecting after the frontiers are open and we can see the pandemic in the back and everybody's vaccinated and we have a new normal?
Your mic is off.
Yeah, okay. So basically, I think everybody's been tired of sitting inside for the past year or so, or a year and a half. As the vaccines roll out, I do see, and that's what we're seeing in the US as well, people going out, people, we're social animals. So, we're not meant to be stuck at home, seeing the same faces. We're meant to go out and meet new people and interact. So I think as the more world opens, people will start going out, and people have been cooped up. So there's going to be a lot of pent up demand. That's something we are seeing in the markets that are already opening up. The demand is, becoming more and more. And like I said, Pakistan is well geared up to increase its exports to all these countries. I see next couple of years are going to be, I think, pretty good. The only thing that I think brands overall, that's something that, I've talked to a few friends of mine who are in the denim business, and even my family. They say that, prices from retailers for the end product, they're not really willing to increase them. So the whole chain is starting to lose margin. I don't know how long we'll be able to survive. So yes, I understand for farmers, it's very important. But I think prices going very high is going to decrease demand in the long term. Last time when we saw $2 cotton, and it won't happen immediately, but last time when we saw $2 cotton, in the next couple of years, we saw all the designers move towards man-made fibers. And that's something that as an industry, we should not be looking for. So sustainable prices going forward are also going to be very important. Otherwise, the designers are just going to start using a lot more polyester, a lot more filament and man-made fibers. They're already saying those are more environment friendly with recycling of bottles and all of that. But actually, as in the industry, we know cannot be more sustainable than cotton. So much higher prices long term will not be good for consumption. But the next couple of years, my advice, grow as much cotton as you guys can. Already, I think we're not able to find any deliveries from here to December. Going forward, shipments also a mess during the world with these shipping lines creating a lot of issues. So the mills will tend to stock up a little bit more cotton compared to what they normally do, so that they have guaranteed raw material in their warehouses. So there's going to be increased demand. Grow as much as you can. It's a great time for Brazil. They're going to start planting in Bahia, maybe in in the next half year, and in Mato Grosso also. So devote as much area as you guys can to cotton. There will be a lot of demand, even from Pakistan.
Fantastic, fantastic. Oh, great. So now I would like to ask if anyone has any comment. Before, President, I pass on to you, because I mean,
tenho, Marcelo.
I do, Marcelo.
President Julio.
Assim, o que eu queria, eu falei isso no vídeo, mas eu acho que
I said this in the video, but it's important to reiterate that. Unfortunately, for this coming season that we started harvesting now, we won't have more cotton than we did last year. Actually, we will have a little less. Last season, we produced 3.2 million tons. And this season, we estimate we will produce close to 2.5 million tons. And why did that happen? Well, when we made the planting decision and that was basically June, July last year, cotton was 50 cents per pound at the New York exchange, and our cost is higher than that. Our cost is of about 62 cents per pound. And why is it that cotton growers didn't reduce the acreage even further, which would be just logical since the price of soybeans and corn was better? First, because we needed to maintain the market that we have conquered. We needed to maintain the team that we prepared and trained. And third, the investments that we made in the cotton industry that can only be used for cotton. A cotton picker costs $1.1 million and it only picks cotton. If you ask a farmer in Brazil, would you like to have a $2 cotton? The answer would be no. For the reasons you have presented, Adil, we lose competitiveness. Although man-made fibers have a fantastic program with microfibers, I don't know why the world is not talking about it, which is a big contamination problem of our water bodies, seas, and that's something that will come back to us in the future. We would rather have a more stable price where we have enough profitability, but without peaks and valleys. Because if we remember when the cotton got to $2 per pound, I think it was 2008, if I'm not mistaken, we had several years after where the price was extremely low. So the price volatility is not interesting for us. Unfortunately, we have very little to say about cotton prices. Who sets the price? Well, it's the market dynamic, supply and demand. But what we feel as Brazilian farmers is that we will plant more cotton than we did this season for everything that you have said, Adil.
Thank you, Mr. President. I would like then now we have to move on and close our webinar. And so we are reaching our time, and that we have a few other questions that on Q&A that we will take care and answer accordingly by email. And but before I move and I give I send the final words to our President Julio, I would like to ask our panelists if you want to say our final words before we have our President closing the meeting.
I just want to thank everybody again for a wonderful session. It's great to see old friends and old faces. It's very interesting, brought great memories back from your beautiful country. And I hope I get invited again sometime and, come and see you guys in person. It was a wonderful trip, very informative as well. Thank you again.
Yeah, thank you. I'll share the Adil's enthusiasm as well. Thank you for inviting us, being as a participants, and having a great session. And looking forward to the next one as well. And I would love to meet all of you in person sometime very soon. So thank you again. I'm looking forward to our next series.
I also would like to thank you again and for having this wonderful session. And also a very good virtual tour of a very beautiful cotton of the Brazil. Thank you again.
Shukriyan. Thank you. Thank you very much. Miguel, please.
Well, I just would like to thank you all for participating and your remarks and collaboration to this meeting. We are looking forward to strengthen our relationship with Pakistan which has become a very important market and partner for Brazil in all cotton respects. So we are looking forward for new businesses, and that commercial relationship remains for many years. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Miguel. Conselheira Adriana.
I also want to join everyone and thank you for the organization of this great event, and thanking everyone that has been part of this.
Oh yeah, all right. Thank you all again, and shukriyan to my friends in Pakistan. And now I thank our partners, APTMA, the Embassy of Brazil in Pakistan, and our friends. And I would like to pass on to our President, Julio Busato, for his final remarks. President Busato.
Ok, Marcelo. Bom, como
All
nós
right,
podemos...
Marcelo. As we can see today, Brazil can offer quantity of cotton. We can supply cotton 12 months a year, and we also offer quality. We are SBR HVI program. We do have traceability through the ABRAPA system and the sustainability using the Responsible Brazilian Cotton Program. And what is that program, the Responsible Brazilian Cotton Program? It's a program that has been around for 10 years, and today it is the most complete sustainability program that we have for cotton at world level, because besides including economic components, that is, we want to offer profitability not only to the farmers, but to all the stakeholders involved in the cotton industry. It also has a social pillar. We want to comply with all the labor requirements in Brazil, and also the environmental pillar, which is to follow all the rules set forth by the Forest Code. And we are the only country in the world with such an stringent Forest Code. 80% of Brazilian cotton has that stamp, Responsible Brazilian Cotton, which is audited by a third party, and 36% of all BCI cotton in the world comes from Brazil, from the Responsible Brazilian Cotton. Adil, you are already invited to come to Brazil as soon as possible to visit our farms. I hope you bring your friends along. Adriana will help us expedite the visa. And in a very near future, I would like to go to Pakistan, to Islamabad, and I hope you can come and visit our farms. So stay well and safe. And to close, we have a short video, which is called the Cotton Brazil Manifesto. Thank you all very much for joining us today, and a big hug to everyone.
In view of so many transformations in the production and consumption processes, Cotton Brazil represents a new step for Brazilian cotton in the global market. After 20 years of constant innovation, research, and investments led by ABRAPA, Brazilian Association of Cotton Growers, its members and partners, it's time to offer the textile universe a raw material that constantly seeks to evolve in quality and sustainability. The market prioritizes transparency, and Cotton Brazil fosters Brazilian cotton, emphasizing its support of the environment and its promotion of social and economic development. In our scenario, advanced technology and agricultural management tools add to the dedicated expertise of trained professionals to develop precision, sustainable growing practices. Supported by its calling for hard work and the search for continuous improvement, Brazil remains one of the main agricultural suppliers of food and raw materials in the world. We value productivity. We pride ourselves on being the 4th largest producer, 2nd largest exporter, and the largest supplier of cotton licensed by the Better Cotton Initiative, BCI, in the world. And this journey gives us confidence to evolve and go further. Our field science is aligned with the delivery of a product increasingly in tune with the demands of buyers, spinners, and apparel manufacturers in Brazil and around the world. In Brazilian cotton, one will find proof of origin, traceability, quality, technology, sustainability, and now consistent year-round supply, thanks to a constant increase in productivity. Count on Cotton Brazil. Step by step, we grow for a better future together.